one of my biggest fears, especially after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, is that we're quickly moving away from liberal democracy, which is not like, conservative liberal. That's not what I'm talking about. Liberal democracy is the system of government we have now, right? Where you have freedom of speech, where you have freedom of expression, where you have gun rights, where you have the ability to engage in a democratic process. We're starting to move away from that because the extremes are essentially monopolizing the conversation and the debate. But I don't think most Americans are on the extremes. It's just that the conversation is kind of taken over by the extremes. And I didn't realize how extreme things had gotten on the left until it kind of slapped me in the face, right? Until it really confronted me in various ways. Now, if you take like where I stand issue by issue, I think I'm still pretty much on the left. But I think the dehumanization of people on the right has really turned me off when it comes to the extreme elements on the left. So, for instance, just today, I was on Piers Morgan's show, and we were talking about Charlie Kirk. I didn't agree with Charlie Kirk on pretty much anything. There were a few things. He had an issue with private equity firms snatching up residential real estate and pricing people out of the housing market. I agreed with him on that. He was in favor of paid family leave. I agreed with him on that. But, on a lot of different issues, we disagreed. However, he was never disrespectful to me. He always invited me to engage in these discussions, engage in these debates. And I loved it because it gave me an opportunity to talk to a completely different audience and make my case to a completely different group of people. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing.
It's funny you say what you just said. You said you still consider yourself left-leaning liberal, but you've come to, what was it exactly that you said? You said you were a liberal, but...
I mean, I hate labels because the labels come with a lot of baggage that I don't agree with.
The only reason why I say it is because we can say the same thing because we still consider ourselves right-leaning, but we've come to the realization that there's still dehumanizing people out there.
Yes.
Doing horrendous things politically, economically, where we don't agree with it. But going back to the left, the right, and the divide, there's a video I want to play very quickly showing the difference between what happened when George Floyd was murdered in 2020 and what happened when Charlie Kirk was murdered literally a couple days ago. Joe, can we play that clip really quickly?
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
That was a Great Britain flag at the end, yes.
When I posted this clip on my Instagram page a couple of days ago, I had a few people reach out and they, why are you comparing the two? I'm like, then what are we supposed to compare? An individual, George Floyd, at the time, you could say was murdered or he died because of an overdose. Obviously whatever the officer did was out of line. But this man, 31-year-old Charlie Kirk, who had a different viewpoint than maybe you have, and he was literally assassinated on live television.
Yeah.
Now his wife, his kids, everybody has to see that for the rest of their lives, to see how their father was murdered because of his stance on social dynamics, issues and political views and all that. But people took advantage of the situation back then, burned down thousands of buildings, billions of dollars in damages. But now, again, I hate the left and right.
Yeah, me too.
Like you said, the whole labeling thing I'm not a fan of because that's exactly what they want.
That's right.
It's a three-step process.
Divide and conquer.
It's first they create division, then they create chaos, and then they control. So they've already divided us. Now they're going to create the chaos to even control us more than we're controlled today.
That's 100% right. And let me just say, both murders were despicable, and both videos are seared in my mind, and I'll never be able to forget them. I saw the video of Charlie Kirk getting shot in the neck, the kind of close-up one.
We refused to post that one, by the way. We couldn't.
Horrific.
We
it's
couldn't.
so horrific. And it's when you know someone personally, it's like another level, you know? Seeing the life leave you can see the life leave his body in that video.
Yeah.
You know, it's horrific. So, point taken about the riots following George Floyd and how there haven't been riots on the right. But I will say this, there are definitely some pretty serious and specific death threats toward the left, even people who aren't like far left like me. A bunch of people have messaged me talking about how I have blood on my hands and we're coming for you. And it's like, what did I do? I didn't do anything, right? I don't at all support what happened to Charlie Kirk. I don't make light of it. I don't make fun of it. I don't think it was okay. It wasn't just. I'm so relieved that someone actually got arrested. I was terrified that whoever did it was going to get away with it because, it took a while to, find the suspect.
Joe, we have a photo of him, right?
Yes, we do.
So
Let me get that out.
I have never felt, there he is. I have never felt so depressed, not knowing somebody and seeing their passing. I didn't know Charlie. I had never spoken to Charlie. Neither, I mean, we'd reached out to get him onto the podcast, but none of us knew who he was. But me personally, I couldn't do anything on Wednesday. I couldn't talk to anybody. I was sitting on my phone just looking at the news and just seeing reports come in. And, my wife was like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not okay. I really, I feel horrible. And I don't even know the guy."
Yeah.
Like it hit me in the gut. I think the last time I felt that bad was when Kobe died.
Yeah, I think so. And most people felt that way. But even in response to that, I had people commenting, like, "Why are you making a big deal out of it?
What do you mean? It was a political assassination."
Yeah, he's like, "Well,
it's a huge deal.
Why don't you post the thousands of kids dying in Gaza?" I'm like, one has nothing to do with the other. I'm not posting what's going on in Armenia every single day. But this man obviously had an impact, a national, if not a global impact. A lot of the youth were influenced by him. And it's not like, and the influence was not, no matter which side of the aisle you're on, to me, it was not negative influence. He wasn't inciting, "Oh, you got to go kill people, you got to do this to stand for your right." None of that. It's just, he was a God-fearing man. That's what he preached. Now, what he did in his personal life or some of the comments he made, and this is the thing, people are like, "Well, you agree with him 100%. I'm like, listen, I don't even agree with myself 100%. I don't agree with my wife 100%. Why would I agree with a stranger 100%? No. Some of the values, some of the things he preached, I agree with. Certain things I disagree with, and that's we're allowed to do that. But today, if you agree or disagree with somebody, like you said, you're targeted. All of a sudden, they need to take you out because somehow you're influencing their actions.
Right.
You have no control over your own actions based on what I say. You're going to go out there and kill somebody. This is just my opinion.
The whole point of this country is to foster the type of environment that supports variations in political ideology, differences of opinion. We don't live in a dictatorship. We don't live in North Korea where we all have to think the same or pretend like we think the same. And I'm worried that the things that make this country great, the things that make this country incredible, are going to be stripped away from us if we keep descending into extreme political violence. Now, let me just be clear. I mean, political violence was actually worse in like the late 60s, 70s. There were a ton of bombings by leftist groups at the time. And luckily, the country was able to recover from that. But what was different then from what we have now is this whole online, internet, social media that's very vulnerable to nefarious actors intentionally dividing us.
Charlie Kirk was essentially murdered for having his own opinion on
That's
certain
right.
things.
That's right.
But the way he would have dialogue with people was, what is your opinion on it? And here's my opinion on it. We can agree to disagree, but he never hated anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was a very biblical and very God-loving person. And in the Bible, it says it, thou shalt love thy neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the type of person where he never hated anybody. Yeah, you could have different opinions, as he said, but at the end of the day, hey, you be you, I'll be me, I'll be on my way. But he had a massive impact on the young crowd and the young voting turnout that helped Trump win this past election.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true.
I really don't think Trump would have won if Charlie wasn't involved. From university to university, he was out there.
I don't know about that, though.
Oh,
I don't
come
know
on.
about that. I mean, did you see who the Democrats were running?
Well, I mean, hold on. I get it. Kamala Harris, yeah. I mean, who else were they going to be putting besides? I mean, Biden was practically,
dead.
I'm surprised he's still walking around, but who else were they going to do? Who else were they put?
That's the other issue with the Democratic Party. You have all of these elderly Democratic politicians who refuse to pass down the torch to younger generations. Like, I look at the Democratic Party and I'm like, I don't like who inspires me.
AOC.
Okay, AOC is, I think that there was some great things about her in the beginning, but she's totally been co-opted by the Democratic establishment. Her insane cowardice when it comes to Israel, that's enough for me. That's enough for me. If you're not willing to vote no on taking American taxpayer dollars to fund a terrorist state, then I have no interest in you. It's that simple.
Did you enjoy that clip? Click over here to watch the full episode and click over here to subscribe to the WiseNuts podcast YouTube channel.